The series begins with a peek into the Hansang Group, a powerhouse in the food industry with a string of restaurants under its belt. We're quickly introduced to Han Byung-woo, a cold, calculating company director who's clearly not winning any popularity contests. One man is even standing outside protesting with signs, calling him a recipe thief. When a junior employee fails to secure an abalone restaurant, Byung-woo steps in personally. He visits the place, chats with the owner, and casually threatens to expose the guy's illegal gambling habit unless he convinces his mom to sell. Ruthless is an understatement. Next, Byung-woo swings by Motto, one of Hansang's upscale restaurants, to review dishes for their new menu. The head chef, Jang Young-hae, is busy giving an interview when he barges in to scold her for not finalizing the main course, a truffle neobiani. She talks about creativity, but he shuts it down, telling her to stick to the recipes he has sourced from across the country. No flair, just follow the blueprint, and all this is to make sure the place lands a coveted 3-star rating. Back at Hansang HQ, we meet Byung-woo's brother and rival, Han Sun-woo. Their mother, the chairwoman, rules the roost and casually fires her chef over dinner, before announcing that whichever son earns 3 stars first will inherit the company. Byung-woo's big plans hit a snag when his junior discovers another restaurant already serving truffle neobiani. For Motto, which prides itself on originality, that's a huge problem. The competing dish is from a tiny spot in Jeonju, so Byung-woo heads out to investigate. After a long trip, he finds the place, a cozy little restaurant with a woman tending to her garden. When Byung-woo tramples her cabbage patch, she comes at him with a knife. Turns out, she's the owner, Yeonju. He tries to bring up the neobiani, but she corrects him. It's actually seopsanjok. Either way, she refuses to cook it, as she is out of a key ingredient, which is rump beef from a specific local farm called Mawon. Determined, Byung-woo tries to get it himself, but the local butcher practically laughs him out of the shop, so he buys a shelf full of random beef cuts, hoping one of them is the real deal. Meanwhile, Yeonju realizes she's out of eggs and heads to a nearby chicken farm. With the farmer's wife unavailable, she braves a chaotic coop full of rowdy hens to get what she needs. Byung-woo returns with his mountain of beef. Yeonju catches on immediately that most of it is fake labeled, but she does find one authentic cut and agrees to make the dish. Before cooking, she drags him on a hike to gather a rare mushroom. Once back, she starts preparing the meal. While waiting, Byung-woo tries her cabbage kimchi and is hit with nostalgia as it tastes just like his grandmother's. When the seopsanjok is ready, he realizes it looks like the truffle dish from Motto but tastes completely different, in the best way. He's so impressed he offers to buy the restaurant. Yeonju shuts him down without hesitation. She tells him people like him, all money and no heart, don't understand what food really means. She even questions if he truly belongs in the culinary world. He fires back that love for food won't pay the bills. The next day, her landlord drops by with the bad news that Yeonju has 1 month to pay up her overdue rent. Meanwhile, Byung-woo learns that the man he threatened over gambling has attempted suicide and is now in the hospital. Back at Hansang, Byung-woo is officially ousted from his director position. Instead of stewing in it, he visits the hospital to apologize, but overhears the man speaking with Sun-woo. That's when it clicks. His brother set him up. He calls their mom immediately, but she's unmoved. Sun-woo will now be in charge of Motto, and Byung-woo needs to find another path to prove himself. Byung-woo later shows up at Yeonju's doorstep, asking to talk. In a flashback, Yeonju is shown the quaint little spot that would become her restaurant, and she is instantly sold on it. To seal the deal, the landlady gifts her a sun hat. Fast forward to the present, Byung-woo is still trying to charm Yeonju into signing over her restaurant to Hansang. She tears the contract to shreds and throws him a curveball that she might consider it if he works there for a month. With Hansang slowly freezing him out, Byung-woo agrees. They draft a new contract that he will work a month at the restaurant and then make a personal investment. Yeonju gets total control of the kitchen. Byung-woo takes charge of the dining hall. But in a plot twist, he privately tells his colleague that the real plan is to steal Yeonju's recipes and use them in a new venture. Later, Yeonju sneaks into an alley looking like she's about to pull off a sketchy deal. Byung-woo tails her and finds out it's just a transaction for premium homegrown chili powder from the village grocer. The problem is she can't afford it, so the grocer takes it back. Back home, Yeonju breaks down. Byung-woo tries to help, suggesting cost-cutting strategies and hiring extra help. She ignores all his suggestions and hires Jin Myung-suk, a seasoned local who used to work at a nearby gukbap joint. This irritates Byung-woo, sparking yet another argument. She dares him to keep his promise about getting new tables, and he swears they'll have them by morning. But that night, reality smacks him in the face as Han-sang has cut off his company credit cards and taken his car. With zero cash and nowhere to go, he trades his pricey designer jacket to Samsik, the owner of a rundown inn, just to get a room. Now rocking a crusty football jersey, he looks like a completely different man. In the morning, he trades his expensive watch for 2 restaurant tables and some chairs. He tries calling in favors to get people to visit the restaurant, but no one shows up. Tension keeps rising between him and Myung-suk. Just when an influencer offers to visit, things fall apart again, this time over a petty plating argument between Byung-woo and Yeon-ju. To top it off, Myung-suk spills kimchi all over the new tables. That's it for Byung-woo, and he storms off in a huff. While sulking, he's found by the grocer and local butcher, who take him out for drinks and try to cheer him up. The grocer even hands him a bag as a gift. Back at the restaurant, Byung-woo finds everything cleaned up. Yeon-ju has brought out elegant dishes and even gives him a fresh shirt to replace the jersey. As a peace offering, Byung-woo gives her the grocer's bag, which is the premium chili powder. The grocer and butcher show up again, this time with their entire soccer team in tow. Everyone digs into the food, and afterwards, Byung-woo, Yeon-ju, and Myung-suk decide to go out for a celebratory team dinner. But outside, they're blocked by a car. Out comes Chun-sung, the owner's son from Myung-suk's old restaurant. He accuses them of poaching her with a big salary and a totally false chef title. At dinner, Myung-suk admits she made that up to get her old job to value her. Instead, they just let her go. Yeon-ju, touched, officially makes her the restaurant's chef. They toast to new beginnings. Later, Yeon-ju and Byung-woo drink way too much, trying to outdrink each other. The vibe crashes when Byung-woo sees an article saying Chef Young-hae is now working for his brother Han Sun-woo's restaurant, La Laselle. He calls her in anger, feeling betrayed. Yeon-ju overhears his ranting about stealing Yeon-ju's recipes and using them to crush both her and his own brother, but she assumes he is talking to an ex. Things get weirder when Chun-sung stumbles back, also drunk. He puts a hand on Yeon-ju, and Byung-woo jumps in to defend her. Yeon-ju handles Chun-sung easily, then turns to Byung-woo and asks why he is really there. Yeon-ju calls Byung-woo out, saying she knows he's grieving a breakup and came to this small town to heal. He denies having a girlfriend, but Yeon-ju's not buying it. The next morning, manager Lee Yoo-jin texts Byung-woo with a mission: get Yeon-ju's seop sangjok recipe. Once he does, they'll start planning a new restaurant. Byung-woo tries, but Yeon-ju makes it clear she is not showing him any recipe. Before the awkwardness can settle, Yeon-ju's landlady barges in, showing the place to potential new tenants, and she drops a bomb that there is gossip that Yeon-ju's restaurant is sinking. Assuming it's Chun-sung spreading lies, Yeon-ju and Byung-woo confront him, but she steps in before it turns into a full-blown brawl. Things go from bad to worse as Yeon-ju's restaurant gets slapped with fire code and health regulation violations. The reason is that some chili powder isn't up to code, and she ends up having to pay a fine. Fuming, Byung-woo and Myung-suk decide to get petty and report the illegal garage extension at Chun-sung's place. He retaliates by parking right in front of Yeon-ju's restaurant, just to be a jerk. Later that night, Myung-suk tells Byung-woo that Yeon-ju's taking the next day off to track down a rare ingredient, maeju, thanks to the chaos Chun-sung caused. Byung-woo joins her on an early morning bus trip, and they travel a long distance to visit a man named Mr. Chang-soo, only to find out he hurt his back, which is why he hasn't delivered the maeju. So, it wasn't Chun-sung's fault after all. Yeon-ju decides to make it herself and ropes Byung-woo into helping. After a long day of hard work, they are on their way back when it starts raining, and they take cover at a bus stop. There is a cute moment when Yeon-ju pulls Byung-woo away from the splash zone, but it gets cut short when he gets a call that someone set her restaurant on fire. Back in town, they confront Chun-sung, who admits to being drunk and breaking a window, but swears he didn't light the place up. He tries to bribe them to avoid the cops, but Yeon-ju gives him 3 days to fix the kitchen instead. Meanwhile, Young-hae presents her truffle neo biryani to Chairman Han. He tells Sun-woo it tastes like garbage, not signature dish material, and Young-hae overhears everything. Sun-woo later makes a shady call to dig into what Byung-woo is up to. The next day, Chun-sung starts on the kitchen repairs. While cleaning, Myung-suk finds a degree from the Culinary Institute of America under the name Sophie Mo, along with a photo of Yeon-ju and other CIA chefs. Chun-sung struggles with repairs, leading Myung-suk to tear into him. He breaks down, venting about his own failures and issues with his dad. Byung-woo steps in to guide him through fixing the place. Later, Yeonju cooks up a comforting Jeonju-style jjajangmyeon. Byung-woo hesitates, then admits it's really good. Their grocer buddy shows up with exciting news that there is a food truck competition with a 5 million won prize, enough to cover repairs. But the registration will be closed in 15 minutes, so Chun-sung and Byung-woo speed over on his motorcycle and just barely sneak their form in, and they later send Yeonju the good news. That night, while lighting a cigarette, Chun-sung remembers something big that he didn't start the fire. A flashback confirms it. Someone else did. Meanwhile, Byung-woo gets a surprise visit from Young-hae. Yeonju walks up mid-convo, and Young-hae quickly figures out that Byung-woo is playing a double game. To shut her down, he pretends she's his crazy ex and tells her to get lost. Young-hae turns to Yeonju and warns her, asking if she truly knows who Byung-woo is. But Yeonju, cool as ever, replies that she will figure it out and the ex-girlfriend can stay out of it. Young-hae tries to defend herself, saying she is not the crazy ex, but Byung-woo drags her away, alone. He finally admits to Young-hae that yes, Yeonju's a chef, and not just any chef, but someone who might actually be better than her. That night, Byung-woo couldn't stop thinking about Yeonju. The next morning, he is caught off guard again. Turns out she's now staying in the room next to his since her place went up in flames. The duo sets out to prep for the upcoming food festival. Byung-woo's excitement deflates fast when Yeonju decides on gimbap. He insists that it is plain gimbap with no frills or flair, and he is not impressed. At the festival grounds, Myung-suk and Chun-sung show up with the saddest excuse for a food truck, basically a rolling tin can, but it's all they could afford. Byung-woo and Yeonju arrive to join them, but things get tense quickly. Byung-woo spots the Hansang logo and realizes with horror that his family's company is suddenly sponsoring the festival. He runs into Sun-woo, who smugly announces two things. The prize money's been doubled to 10 million won, and La Laselle, yes, that La Laselle is now competing too. Byung-woo confronts Young-hae, and she openly says she wants to test if Yeonju is actually the better chef. To make things worse, manager Lee Yoo-jin is right there helping her. As the festival kicks off, Jungjae's carrot gimbap truck isn't getting much love. Desperate, Byung-woo shows up with boxes of beef and ham, pitching a revamped gimbap menu. Yeonju's not thrilled but agrees, and it pays off. The upgraded gimbap sells out, and in the heat of success, Yeonju and Byung-woo share a spontaneous hug until the awkwardness creeps in. They pack up for the day, knowing there's still another round tomorrow. Meanwhile, Sun-woo is unimpressed with Young-hae's results and tells her someone new will be joining her the next day. Back at the burnt restaurant, Yeonju finds a random lighter. She shows it to Byung-woo, but he swears it's not his, and there is no time to dwell on that as they head to day 2 of the food festival. Hansang brings out the big guns, including a performance by singer Park Kun and a flashy meet and greet right next to La Laselle's truck. Byung-woo loses it and tries to argue with Young-hae again, but Yeonju hauls him back to focus. Business isn't booming on their end until Chun-sung suggests they sell moju, a sweet, herb-infused, non-alcoholic drink he whipped up. At the same time, a customer returns asking for Yeonju's good old regular gimbap. She lights up. The simplicity hits. Her carrot-packed gimbap draws in the crowd, especially with Chun-sung's moju alongside it, to boost the drama and sales. Chun-sung and Myung-suk start telling people Yeonju and Byung-woo are married, expecting a baby, and flat broke. The crowd eats it up literally. Voting time comes, and it's neck and neck between La Laselle and Jungjae's truck. Sadly, La Laselle snags the win. The Jungjae crew is salty, and Chun-sung is sure it was rigged. Even Byung-woo starts to suspect foul play and calls out Sun-woo, even accusing him of torching the restaurant. Sun-woo denies everything, of course. Outside, Young-hae gloats about winning and throws shade at Byung-woo for crushing on Yeonju. But later, when she tastes Yeonju's gimbap, she can't deny that it's really good. Elsewhere, Byung-woo stumbles on Yeonju playing dokji with kids and winning. When they chase her, she grabs Byung-woo's hand and runs, laughing. But the moment shifts as they argue, emotions flare, and in the heat of it all, Byung-woo blurts out the truth. He likes her. Then, without overthinking it, he pulls her in and kisses her. As Byung-woo is kissing Yeonju, Myung-suk and Chun-sung show up, and Yeonju, flustered as ever, responds by headbutting Byung-woo. Yup, straight to the face. He's left bleeding from the nose. Back at the inn, Byung-woo shyly knocks on Yeonju's door. She sees him but ducks behind a wall like a spy in a drama. The next day, Myung-suk and Chun-sung won't let it go, and they tease the life out of them about the kiss. Yeonju brushes it off as a mistake, and Byung-woo awkwardly agrees, even though he clearly doesn't believe that. Later, a French woman and her Korean fiancé drop by the restaurant. Byung-woo impresses everyone by speaking French until Yeonju casually interprets the conversation in fluent French too. Turns out the couple is planning a formal meeting for their parents and wants to book the restaurant. Yeonju hesitates, given the kitchen's still not 100%, but Byung-woo convinces her to go for it. That night, Yeonju reflects on the woman's dilemma. Her mother hates Korean food, while her fiancé's dad insists on it. As she flips through her recipe book, Byung-woo's face pops into her mind like an annoying pop-up ad. She heads out and finds Byung-woo, tipsy on the sidewalk, brooding. He confronts her, asking how she could call their kiss a mistake. They argue, and in his drunk bold mode, he asks her out on a date. She says no, but he declares it's happening right after the French couple's dinner. The next morning, he shows up with new uniforms for everyone, which makes the others happy as they pose for pictures. We then get to meet Jean Min, head chef at Japanese restaurant Le Mourir. He's eating one of his dishes on a flight and flips when he realizes the airline ignored his prep instructions. The fish is too salty. He tells the flight crew, no more partnership. He's done. Back in town, Byung-woo and Yeonju bond while buying meat. Byung-woo admits he used to be a money-chasing jerk, but he's working on himself. Then Min shows up outside the restaurant. Yeonju sees him and instantly breaks down in tears, telling him to leave. Flashback to happier times, the two of them smiling and working together at Le Mourir. Byung-woo sees Min too, but the day's customers distract everyone. Later, Min tries again, and this time Yeonju agrees to talk. Meanwhile, Myung-suk shows the others a photo of Yeonju and Min back at Le Mourir, along with her CIA culinary certificate. Inside, Min apologizes for staying at Le Mourir while she got pushed out. Yeonju says that was her call, but clearly it still stings. Min says he's missed her. Another flashback reveals Yeonju once took the fall for a ruined pufferfish dish that was actually Min's fault, as she resigned, and he stayed. The next day, it is go time, and the restaurant is all set for the French couple and their families. But the mood is tense as the parents can't communicate, and the Korean father isn't impressed with the first dish. But the second dish? A dumpling, and Chun Sung's homemade maggioli work magic. As more fusion dishes roll out, the atmosphere softens. By the end of the meal, both families are smiling. Total success. Byung-woo tries to remind Yeonju about their date, but Min swoops in. She tells her crew to go ahead and promises Byung-woo she'll meet him by 9. Later, Yeonju cooks for Min one of their old comfort meals from back when they were scraping by in France. She admits she loved Le Mourir, but what really broke her was that he never reached out after she left. He says they can go back to the way things were. Meanwhile, Byung-woo waits on the street like a lovesick puppy. Yeonju finally shows up, and he leads her to a dreamy rooftop movie setup. Turns out, he cut onions for hours for a veggie seller just to use the space, showing that his dedication level is high. She falls asleep during the film, so he gently covers her with his jacket. They grab coffee afterward, and Yeonju opens up. She tells him she's an orphan, abandoned at a hermitage. Cooking led her to Le Mourir, where she met and dated Min. Now, Min wants her to return, but she's not planning on it. Or so she says. The next morning, a bomb drops. Yeonju's gone. She had left a note saying she's heading to Sapporo and wants them to handle the kitchen for a while. We see her at the bus stop, reading a text from Min saying the flight is at 4 p.m. After Yeonju opened up to Byung-woo about Min, she reassures him that she is not going back to Japan, but that promise starts to wobble real quick. That same night, Min calls her and drops a bomb that Chef Tatsuo, her former mentor, is gravely ill. By morning, Yeonju is gone. Byung-woo and the others find a note saying she's off to Sapporo for a while. Along with it is a handwritten Youngjae manual with 135 detailed instructions for the team. This seems sweet, except running the restaurant without Yeonju proves harder than assembling IKEA furniture without a manual or screws. Meanwhile, Yeonju's on a flight to Japan with Min. He brings up that fateful day, the Diamant Inspector incident, where he botched a dish, and Yeonju took the fall. She promises not to bring it up to Chef Tatsuo, who's now fighting dementia. Back in Seoul, Young Hae gets wind that Han Woo's already found a new head chef for La Laselle. She confronts him, but he hits her where it hurts, saying she's not cut out for Michelin stardom. Furious, Young Hae calls her crew, saying it is time to revive Motto. Elsewhere, Byung-woo wakes up from a nightmare of Min kissing Yeonju, and it seems his subconscious really wants him to suffer. Then, in a surprise, manager Yujin pops in, but keeps his identity under wraps. He pulls Byung-woo aside and slyly suggests stealing Yeonju's recipes for Mado's comeback. But Byung-woo's had enough of that life. In a what-if moment, Yujin imagines exposing Byung-woo's secret to Myung-suk and Chun-seung. It's just a daydream for now. Still, Yujin starts sniffing around for the recipe book and calls Young-hae to say he's close to securing it. Byung-woo overhears the call and knows he has to act fast. Luckily, Chun-seung's already ticked off by how Yujin's all over Myung-suk. So Byung-woo recruits him for a plan. They invite Yujin out for drinks. Chun-seung and Yujin get wasted while Byung-woo fakes it. Once Yujin passes out, they stash him in Chun-seung's garage. Byung-woo's thrilled when Yeonju calls until he hears Min's voice. That makes him furious, and he locks Yujin in the garage, begs Chun-seung for cash, who fails to secure any from his dad's restaurant, and sets out for Sapporo himself. Meanwhile, in Japan, Yeonju visits Chef Tatsuo and finds him in heartbreaking shape. He doesn't recognize her. Shaken, she runs out. Min explains that the chef hasn't eaten in ages, but he might just eat Yeonju's cooking. They stop by Le Maurier, and Yeonju is hit with nostalgia. A flashback shows her and Min working on the infamous pufferfish dish. The Diamant inspector is not satisfied with it, and though it was Min's error, Yeonju took the blame and quit. Back in the present, Min reveals he is about to take over Le Maurier and wants Yeonju to join him to start fresh. Start over. Yeonju refuses, but before they can dig into that, Byung-woo shows up. Tension flares, but Yeonju drags Byung-woo away. After some dodging, he finally admits the truth that he came because he missed her. Meanwhile, Young-hae sneaks into La Laselle to snoop on her replacement. On a manager's computer, she finds something big, a file revealing a merger between Hansong and Le Maurier. The plot thickens. Later, Yeonju and Min head to the market, only for Byung-woo to leap in front of Min's car, determined to tag along. At the market, they learn that Chef Tatsuo had ordered sea urchins, a clue to what might bring back his appetite. That night, the trio grabs dinner. While Yeonju's in the bathroom, Min and Byung-woo start round 2 of their verbal sparring match. Min reveals he and Yeonju dated for 3 years, and even planned to open a restaurant together called Youngjae. Then comes another twist. Young-hae calls Byung-woo to reveal who's replacing her at La Laselle. It's Min. Byung-woo's ready to storm back in, fists loaded with righteous fury, until he spots Yeonju and Min laughing together. And just like that, he freezes. Lee Yoo-jin wakes up in Chun-seung's garage, still locked up thanks to Byung-woo. He spots what looks like the legendary Jungjae's recipes book, but it's just full of random news clippings. Talk about trolling on paper. Meanwhile, in Japan, Min once again tries convincing Yeonju to return to Le Maurier. She turns him down. Then Sunwoo calls, and Min steps away for the night. Left alone, Yeonju and Byung-woo drink and brainstorm ideas for a dish Chef Tatsuo might actually eat. Yeonju reflects on how much she respects Tatsuo. She says she got a lot of options after school to work in France and other countries, but she declined as she only wanted to work under Tatsuo, hoping he will help her figure out what direction her cooking should follow. But even him changed after getting a Diamant star, and he became less passion and more pressure. Byung-woo notices she is feeling down, and he suggests that they go on a walk. Their walk takes them to a cozy ramen joint, where they try uni ramen. Turns out, the owner is a friend of Tatsuo, and taught him how to make it. In a flashback, Tatsuo once tasted a version and said it wasn't how the kid made it, clearly referring to Yeonju. She remembers whipping it up for staff one day, and Byung-woo suggests this is the dish to make for him. She gives him a quick kiss and rushes out to get ingredients. Meanwhile, Han-woo texts Min that they need to talk. Back in Korea, Young-hae goes to Jungjae in search of the recipe, and she overhears Chun-seung telling Myung-suk to forget about Yoo-jin, as he must have gone back to Seoul. And he also implies that Yoo-jin might be locked up somewhere. Chun-seung sneaks food to the still imprisoned Yoo-jin, but when Yoo-jin threatens his precious liquor stash, Chun-seung briefly lets him out, only to get locked inside himself by Young-hae and Yoo-jin. Young-hae tells Yoo-jin she needs Yeonju's recipes before the weekend Diamant inspectors are coming to Mado. In Sapporo, Byung-woo confronts Min about the Hansang-Le Maurier merger. He suspects the endgame is to shut the place down. Min throws shade right back, questioning Byung-woo's real motives. The next morning, Yeonju shops for ingredients, but Byung-woo no-shows. He finally meets her at Le Maurier, where she is prepping the uni ramen. In the trash, she finds pills that Min claims are just for stress. Suspicious, but she keeps going. Min and Yeonju prepare the meal together, chatting and laughing like old colleagues, which makes Byung-woo jealous. They nail the dish, and Tatsuo finally eats a full meal, and he recognizes Yeonju. He apologizes for the past, the pufferfish disaster, and they reconcile. Then, Min drops big news. He's officially the chef-owner of Le Mourir. He also had to bring in an outside investor to keep the place alive. Yeonju confronts him about the pills there for Alzheimer's. She accuses him of hiding the truth from Tatsuo to buy time and secure a buyer. Min says he did it out of desperation, as the restaurant was on the brink of disaster. She insists that what he did cannot be justified, but he tells her he does not care what she says, and the M&A with Hansang is a done deal. But Byung-woo's got one more ace up his sleeve. In a flashback, he had secretly flown back to Seoul, barged into a Hansang board meeting, pulled strings, with his mom's help, and got himself reinstated as a board member. He then vetoed the M&A deal for Le Mourir. In the present, Min snaps and punches Byung-woo. Tatsuo puts a stop to the chaos and tells Min that selling the restaurant isn't the answer, and they will find another way together. Later, Min makes peace with Yeonju. She tells him she'll always treasure their time together. They say goodbye. On the plane home, Yeonju rests her head on Byung-woo's shoulder, and he gets a sweet text from his mom saying he owes her. Back in town, Yeonju and Byung-woo realize Chun-sung's missing, and Byung-woo panics as he remembers Yoo-jin. He rushes to the garage only to find Chun-sung locked in there now. Byung-woo races to the restaurant, searching for the Jungjae recipe book, and realizes that it is gone. In a flashback, Yoo-jin and Young-hae broke in and stole it. Now, Young-hae and her team are all set, waiting for the Diamant inspectors at Motto. Meanwhile, Byung-woo speeds towards Seoul, determined to stop her. Young-hae doesn't just copy Yeonju's dishes, she even uses her signature soy sauce. Byung-woo races to the restaurant but arrives too late, and when he confronts Young-hae, she throws it right back in his face, saying he is the one who taught her how to play dirty. She tosses the recipe book on the table and tells him to quit playing house at Jungjae and come back. Meanwhile, at Jungjae, Yeonju finds a note from Byung-woo claiming he is sick and won't make it in. Mi-young-suk is still salty at Chun-sung for skipping work, and as they bicker, Yeonju realizes Young-hae has been in town. That night, Byung-woo sneaks back into Jungjae to return the stolen recipe book. Yeonju catches him in the act and offers him porridge, concerned for his health. The next day, Chun-sung and Mi-young-suk continue their petty Cold War, and both skip work. Yeonju's done with the drama. She announces they all need a break. A vacation is officially in the cards, but just as things seem to calm down, a mysterious customer shows up. He orders a one-set meal, doesn't eat a bite, leaves behind a wad of cash, and a red lighter. Byung-woo's blood runs cold as he recognizes the man as a former protester from outside Hansang, and the lighter reminds him of the half-melted one found in Jungjae after the fire. Byung-woo grabs a truck from the veggie vendor and chases the guy down to a warehouse. The man confesses he stood outside Hansang for 93 days, ignored and invisible, so he lit a match and burned Jungjae down. To him, it was just another corrupt restaurant, no different from the others, which Byung-woo helped ruin. Still shaken, Byung-woo visits his mother, Chairman Han, and it turns out she already knows everything. She tells him the positive Diamant reviews are in, and it is time to shut Jungjae down. Byung-woo asks for more time. Torn by guilt, Byung-woo knows he needs to come clean to Yeonju, but when the whole team leaves for their vacation, he can't find the words. Turns out Yeonju has a surprise up her sleeve as they are not heading to a fancy villa, but to a peaceful temple. It's where one of the monks who helped raise her lives. After a day of temple chores and calm, Yeonju and Byung-woo talk under the stars. She says she wanted him to meet the monk who was like a mother to her. In a flashback, we see the monk picking up baby Yeonju, who has been abandoned in the temple. She grew up among the monks, and she never once thought of her real mother. It was there that she developed her love for cooking, and cooking, she says, was her first love because of her real mom. When she asks about Byung-woo's story, he dodges it, saying it's not easy to explain. Sometime later, Byung-woo sends a message to Sunwoo, officially cutting ties with Motto and renouncing his role as Hansang's heir. Meanwhile, Motto earns the ultimate prize of 3 Diamant stars. After Team Jungjae returns, Byung-woo finally opens up to Yeonju. He starts explaining how he has changed, but she cuts him off with a kiss. Just when things are looking up, Sunwoo storms in with receipts. Byung-woo comes clean, saying he originally planned to steal Yeonju's recipes and shut Jungjae down. Sunwoo drops the final bomb that her dish already earned Motto its 3 stars. Yeonju is devastated as her trust is shattered, and she tells Byung-woo to leave. At Hansang HQ, Chairman Han and the rest of the gang are popping champagne to celebrate Motto scoring 3 Diamant stars. A TV producer named Kim pitches a documentary idea to Han, but she shuts it down at least for now. Back at Jungjae, Myung-suk and Chun-sung show up to work as usual, but immediately sense something's off with Yeonju. She drops a vague bomb, saying it is just the three of them from now on, and she does not give any further explanation. But her mood and cooking are off all day, and eventually, she breaks the silence and tells them everything about Byung-woo's deception. On the other side of town, Byung-woo isn't exactly thriving either. He heads to Motto, packs up his things, and gives a confused Young-hae and Yoo-jin a heartfelt goodbye. He officially resigns, and once Chairman Han sees the message, she wastes no time. She declares Sunwoo the new head of Motto and scraps his own restaurant, La Laselle, in the process. But this does not sit well with Sunwoo. Then, in a huge twist, it turns out Diamant's editor-in-chief is the famous gourmet French dad who visited Jungjae with his Korean in-laws. He makes a call and tells the organization to add one more 3-star restaurant in Korea. Yeonju, emotionally drained, closes the restaurant and heads back to the Buddhist monastery. She finds comfort in her mother, the head monk, and breaks down in her arms. Later, when a kid at the temple throws a tantrum, Yeonju whips up a cake from the limited pantry. It's a hit. The girl's joy is a moment of peace for her. That night, Yeonju opens up to her mother about everything that went down with Byung-woo. The head monk listens quietly, then drops some wisdom, saying Yeonju's cooking has changed as she now cooks for others, not for herself. She asks Yeonju to reflect on why that shift happened. The next day, the Diamant Guide announces its decision to also confer a 3-star rating on Jungjae, and everyone is shocked. Chairman Han doesn't miss a beat. She calls producer Kim back and pitches a cook-off between Motto and Jungjae. She sends her people to track down Byung-woo and give him the news. He is floored to hear that Jungjae got 3 stars, but he is not interested in playing along, not in the cook-off, not in Hansang. But Chairman Han plays dirty as she reveals that Hansang now owns the Jungjae building, and she threatens to shut it down, and Yeonju's future with it. Elsewhere, Myung-suk and Chun-sung stop by Jungjae and find a crowd gathered outside. Word of the 3 stars is out. At the monastery, Yeonju hears the same from visitors, along with news of the looming cook-off. Byung-woo returns to town and runs into Myung-suk and Chun-sung, who've temporarily taken jobs at another restaurant. When he warns them about the fate of Jungjae and the cook-off, they assume he's pulling another stunt. Turns out trust is in short supply. Later, Yeonju finds herself back in the monastery kitchen, but when she sees a vision of her younger self, she realizes what her heart's been trying to tell her. She still wants to cook at Jungjae. That night, her mother reveals that Byung-woo had quietly visited the temple. In a flashback, Byung-woo watches Yeonju from afar, but can't bring himself to approach her. He confesses to the monk that he regrets the person he used to be. Now, in the present, the monk encourages Yeonju to go back and fight for what's hers. Come morning, Byung-woo waits outside Jungjae, unsure of what the day will bring. He is surprised but relieved when Myung-suk and Chun-sung show up, ready to defend their home. They have even brought reinforcements, the grocer, the butcher, and the whole local crew. As the cook-off preparations begin at both restaurants, cameras roll, banners fly, and Team Jungjae gears up. There is still no sign of Yeonju, but Byung-woo rallies the squad anyway. At the broadcast launch of the big Hansang cook-off between Jungjae and Motto, the judges are none other than Chairman Han and Mathieu, the editor-in-chief of Diamant, the same Frenchman who visited Jungjae earlier. The theme is revealed, which is chicken. Team Jungjae decides to give coq au vin a Korean twist. But when they can't find the right chicken at nearby stores or markets, Byung-woo starts to smell sabotage. They decide to hit the road again, even if it means settling for frozen poultry. Around the corner, Yeonju watches them rush off, keeping her presence hidden. Meanwhile, Sunwoo learns from a colleague that his mother is behind the chicken shortage. He's in town too and runs into Yeonju on the street, but we don't hear their conversation just yet. Cut to the next morning. Motto opens with Young-hae debuting her own recipe. Jungjae is buzzing too, attracting food bloggers and Chun-sung's dad, who gives a nod of approval to his son's McJolly. At Motto, Mathieu enjoys Young-hae's dish. As the judges travel to Jungjae, Chairman Han admits to producer Kim that the cook-off isn't about just winning, but it's a PR stunt to promote her new brand. Back in the kitchen, Young-hae tells Yoo-jin she's quitting Motto, as cooking her own food has reawakened something in her. We flash back to Yeonju meeting Sunwoo and stopping him from smoking at the Hanak village. She asks him why both brothers are so messed up, and he tells her about how their childhood shaped them. In a flashback, we see the chairwoman on a TV show where she was explaining how she was going to cook a dish that her kids loved. But while it was airing, Byung-woo was begging her in front of the screen to stay back and play with him. She shut him up then and continued to work on her phone. It was his grandma who made him eat then, and we see the kimchi, the same one Byung-woo was later reminded of at Jungjae. In the present, Yeonju visits Mado and meets Yoo-jin, who fills her in on Byung-woo's past. He admits that Byung-woo started to change for the better at Jungjae. The judges arrive at Jungjae and taste the dish. As he did at Mado, Mathieu asks if anything unique was done to the recipe. Then comes the verdict. Chairman Han receives a paper clearly stating that Jungjae received more votes. Mathieu notices it too, which makes it even more shocking when she publicly announces a tie. Furious, Mathieu storms off. Han proposes a rematch. Byung-woo argues against it until Yeonju makes a dramatic entrance. She accepts the challenge, then dares Chairman Han to simply taste her food. If it doesn't win her over, she says, she'll walk away. Breakfast tomorrow. Be there. Later, Byung-woo tries to apologize, but Yeonju tells him to wait until everything's settled. That night, Sunwoo calls Byung-woo out for a drink and asks why he's fighting so hard for Jungjae. Byung-woo replies that it is all because he doesn't want to live like they used to, and he questions whether their mother is even happy. The next morning, Yeonju finds a sun hat and a note from Byung-woo in the kitchen, his apology. The cameras roll as Chairman Han arrives. Yeonju begins cooking and tells the two brothers to sit somewhere as they are crowding her. As Yeonju starts cooking, she orders Chun-sung to make the brothers sit at the same table as Chairman Han. Soon the meal is ready, and Yeonju finally presents the trio with a home-cooked breakfast. The chairwoman is immediately dismissive, asking if Yeonju seriously expects her to judge this food. Yeonju tells her then that she's already accepted defeat. She also says that she was taught that she's supposed to cook, keeping the person who is eating the food in mind, not the person who is cooking. She says she finally understands that sentiment now. She cooks a home-cooked meal for this trio to remind them what family is, to remind them how important what they have is, and they should not forget about it. In her case, she's got a family that's not related by blood, but they love her dearly, and she hopes this meal can bring them together. Byung-woo and Sunwoo persuade Chairman Han to try it, and in a flashback, we see that Han once made shrimp rice John on TV, the same dish Yeonju just served. In the present, Han devours it. Despite Yeonju surrendering, Chairman Han tells her to keep Jungjae. If she wanted to shut it down, she says, they could have just opened another one. On the ride home, Han tells Sunwoo to let her know when he's visiting their grandmother's grave. Back at the restaurant, Yeonju tells Byung-woo she's letting him off the hook because she likes him. He hugs her and says he loves her. Right as they're about to kiss, Chun-sung and Myung-suk burst in. Elsewhere, Young-hae opened a food truck. Yoo-jin, having left Han-sang, joins her, ready to support her cooking and her future. Later, Myung-suk joins a collab at Chun-sung's restaurant and nearly faints when her favorite drama actor walks in. Chairman Han and Sunwoo eventually visit their grandmother's grave, cameras in tow. The tears might be staged for producer Kim's show, but Han does say she'll return home. Meanwhile, Byung-woo makes amends with the man who torched Jungjae. The man reopens his own restaurant, with Sunwoo promising to help him get back on his feet. In the final scene, Byung-woo steps into Jungjae and finds Yeonju in the garden, just like that very first time. This time, she greets him with a hug and a kiss. If you enjoyed this recap, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and see you next time.